So, woke up a while ago. I'm gonna get up and start getting ready. I was originally planning to go to the Everglades, but decided against it. Really, my thing was I wanted to see alligators. But when I looked at it, it's like, I think it sounds like it's gonna be a hassle. Like, I'm gonna have to drive about an hour or so to get there. Like, for the museums that I want to see, they're in Miami, like in downtown Miami. You can take public transportation to get there, but I kind of want to be able to, if I want to move from point A to point B, that I can just, hop in the car and get to exactly where I want to go to, exactly when I want to get there. Pretty quiet during the night, actually, which is, I thought it would be a lot louder, because you think of South Beach, you think of people being loud and partying, but the city itself, I felt, at least in the area where I am, that is actually quite quiet. You get a different vibe in December versus coming, especially during spring break, or I would assume even during the summer, where it's a different crowd of people. I think at this time of the year, it's more like the snowbirds and, residents, whereas during spring break, it's more younger, club and bar oriented people. But man, I woke up this morning and it's just so noisy. Ended up waking up, I think, about between 6:30 and 7, because it's just so damn loud. It's like you hear every car that seems to pass by on the street. The garbage truck, and then I guess the housekeeping people. It's loud. I'm gonna go ahead and get up and, get my day started. Well, it's something I've been doing for about a year now, where in the morning I wake up, I listen to, it's like a 10-minute motivational podcast, and then from there I listen to some personal development stuff, trying to start my day off with some motivation, some positivity. I think it's created a completely different vibe to my mornings. A habit I want to try to build is having a daily gratitude practice. I did try journaling for a while early on in the year, in January. I was okay with it for maybe a few weeks at the start of the year, but I've tremendously fallen off. So it's one of the things that I want to work on for 2026. And I just thought about it, I should have brought my journal to look back and reflect on your day. And so for myself, I think the number one thing is that you've lived another day, you've made it through another day, right? It's something that we take for granted, but it's probably the most important thing. And then secondly would be, I don't really have any health issues, so it's I think you're supposed to think of 3 or so things that you're grateful for. You look at it, they seem like basic things, but when either one of those things is no longer true, it becomes the most important thing. And so you look at it in just living and getting through your day, that you have two major things to be grateful for, right? So you just have to find the third thing. That's actually a pretty dope perspective to have. And not that it downplays your problems, because if you have legitimate issues, you want to feel the way that you feel, but then think about how to get through them and whatnot. But I think it starts you off by kind of putting things in perspective, that you've made it through another day, and it's whatever you might be going through, that you can get through.
This was going to be my first full day in Miami, and when I visit cities, I like to walk around. In this case, everything's spread out, so it's a little bit difficult. So I hopped in my car, drove around, and wanted to kind of see as much of the city as I could. I really enjoyed driving off the causeway, driving through the city, seeing some of the different neighborhoods.
So right now in Little Haiti, and this is Little Haiti's, the Caribbean marketplace that I'm standing outside of. It looks like it's shuttered right now, but pretty interesting building. There's a little placard outside. And unlike other areas that I've been to in Miami, it's parking seems to be less of a hassle here. There's a little cultural center that I'm going to go ahead and check out. It's pretty quiet right now, and granted, I'm here, it's 12:30. On a Thursday, so on a Saturday or something like that, it might be a completely different vibe. An interesting thing is that when you walk in, there's a little courtyard area, but when you
are getting ready to walk into the complex proper, like the actual building. As you can see behind me, there's like these kind of gate looking things. And on each panel, you see there's like a Haitian flag. And basically what it is that it's the history of the Haitian flag over the years. From, if you see this white flag behind me here, the very first flag, which was back when it was a colony of France. And so it has like the crown to symbolize France. And then you see like the tricolor flag following the French Revolution that was used in the Haitian Revolution, and then on through the other iterations of the flag up until at the end here. So you could think of it as a timeline when you have the modern day flag. Something that I never really thought about or considered. I just assumed, because it's the flag that I know, that the most recent flag has always been their flag. It was just never anything that I even thought about. But a nice, interesting display and an explanation of like the progression of their flag. Creative. So right now, during the time I'm visiting, they have an exhibition on display called Immigrant Artists at Work. And so in keeping with Little Haiti being a community where Haitian immigrants settled in the 80s, it's like art on display, kind of showing the story of like immigrants, them settling in a land that's not like their home and trying to make a life, holding on to their culture and all that entails. So pretty interesting. So nice, vibrant artwork. So if you've ever been to the Caribbean, you know it's like bright, sunny place, tropical for the most part. And as a part of that, the houses tend to be like brightly painted. So kind of gives you a similar vibe. And when you come into the museum, you see that as well. Like if you look at the walls behind me, you'll see that like it's painted in a lot of different colors, but they're all bright, they're all vibrant. Around the other building, you have on display photos and the names of Haitian American politicians in Florida, particularly in Miami, in the Miami area. On one of the, let's say, walls, not panels, there are 7 panels of various figures associated with the Haitian Revolution. So you might be familiar with Toussaint Louverture, but then there's also like other people who were involved with the Haitian Revolution, like other generals, as well as 2 women, one of whom actually sewed the first Haitian flag. Pretty interesting. It's a quick museum. You can get through it in, maybe a half hour or so. So something to note is that in addition to ample street parking, there's actually a parking lot. And as long as you're parking here for the cultural center, it's free. Just be careful. Don't park here and then try to leave to go anywhere else. There's really no need for it because it is a tollway zone. And my understanding is that Miami, they don't play about towing your car. So right now I'm standing outside of Citadel. It's a food market located just outside, you can see the sign behind me, the boundaries of Little Haiti. So a few different food stalls, vendors and whatnot. There's a rooftop. So I'm going to head on in and check it out. I found it by searching online. I was like, while I'm in the area, let me see what else there might be to see. So I drove around a little bit, and this was just maybe 8 minutes from the Little Haiti Cultural Complex. And so here, we'll check it out. So when you step inside, it's a few different vendors. I want to say it looks like maybe 10 or so, give or take. I would say more than 10. But you step in, you can get pasta, you can get panini sandwiches, poke, sushi, pho. There's a bakery, so if you're in the mood for something sweet, you can get some ice cream. The bakery has some different kinds of pastries and whatnot, but leaning more towards somewhat, I would say, Latin type flair. You have a little coffee shop, which I didn't look too closely because I'm not into coffee, as well as a pizza place. Had I not gotten pizza last night, that might have been an option. There's also a seafood place where you can get seafood sandwiches, seafood entrees. Right now, stone crabs are in season, so you can get those. But there's supposed to be a Caribbean place. Then there's a regular bar as well. My plan was to go back to Citadel in the evening because they closed late and I would have been able to make it there after the weigh-in. But there was another restaurant that I wanted to visit, which was Clive's Cafe, and they would not have been open by the time I drove there from Miami Beach following the weigh-in. So I figured I would drive over to Clive's Cafe, I would get lunch there, and then I could go back and check out the nighttime vibe at Citadel. Clive's Cafe is a Jamaican restaurant with a nice little Jamaican vibe. I went for the jerk pork with rice and peas and plantain.
I like that the rice isn't too mushy. Could have used a little bit. It's like not hard, tight. If that makes sense.
That's the shit. It started me just like, wait a minute, it could be gone like that. You better fucking do what you gotta do with it. You got
decent flavor. The pork is nice and tender, but the sauce is actually really good. Could have been a little bit more tender.
On an individual level, but that first thing I'm like completely.
And people want to melt it. I like that the meat isn't like full fat. There's some little bits of fat in there, but it's not like floppy or just greasy or anything like that.
All of us are already.
And the pork itself, it's like dry. Not like as in like the moisture. The sauce is not the pork itself. So you can taste like the flavor of the pork by itself. When you've got like the sauce on the side, which is a little bit spicy. Because I know some people they think of like jerk and they expect it to be like hot and spicy. It doesn't necessarily have to be. It's more that it's the blend of seasonings. But you have the sauce on the side, so if you want to kick the spice, you do have it. Not wrong, good. I'm gonna say the greatest though. Like the pork is actually like nicely seasoned. Tastes good, the flavor is good. It's just that like texture wise, it could have been a little bit more tender. Well actually you get some pieces that are pretty tender and then others that like are not quite so tender. So maybe like it needs to be evened out a bit, or maybe it's like two different sets of pork and we mixed it together. But flavor-wise, it's pretty good. I feel like the white rice will be fine. For rice and peas, I'm expecting it to have its own bit of flavor to it as well. Like I don't get the sense that they cooked it with like coconut milk or anything like that. Which I think just the addition of that, maybe a little bit more salt or something, it would be perfect. Like just a little bit more seasoning in the rice. Just like minor criticisms, but not anything major. It's definitely not bad. It's not like the greatest jerk pork I've had. Was it worth it? I'd say yeah. Still good. And I feel like the portion is pretty basic. It's not like an overly large portion, but it's not like skimpish either. It's not too good for I think a normal person. This is just right. Because I hate to waste food. Pretty good. As far as like, the digs is like, neighborhood spot or whatever it is, nothing fancy. So, no extra points for there, but I wouldn't take any points away either. It was reasonably clean. Just, maybe a little bit dated and whatnot, but I don't think that's the most important thing when you go out. I want like good food and for the place to be clean. I don't need for it to be fancy or anything. So if you're in the area, like you come by, you check out Little Haiti, and you're in the mood for some Caribbean food, you want something to eat, I would say it's a place to.
I had planned to spend some time in Little Havana, but Citadel was an unintended stop, so I really just had a little bit of time to drive through, and from there I had to head back to Miami Beach because I was going to be going to the weigh-in that night and I didn't want to be late. I enjoy the fight week events almost as much as I enjoy the actual fight, so they are excitement because they help to build up anticipation for the actual fight. In addition to that, you get to see like the fighters. Most of the people that I know, like my friends and family, they're not interested in boxing. You get to speak with other fight fans, get to meet other people from the boxing world. You're sitting in the audience, anticipation is building, and here goes the announcer with the dramatics announcing Anthony Joshua. You see him on TV, he's tall. It's completely different to see him in person. He is a very large man, very in shape, muscles, all this kind of stuff, tall guy. You see a lot of the other guys around, like Jake Paul, for example, I want to say is like at least 6 feet, like 6 feet, 6'1", something like that. But I think it's like a 5-inch height difference. So Anthony Joshua's like 6'6", but in comparison to Jake Paul, like he makes Jake Paul look quite tiny. In addition to that, once they got weighed in, and side note, I actually really liked how they put all of this together. I didn't really like the US versus UK business or whatever, like that was unnecessary. But as far as like the presentation of it, I thought like the graphics and all of that was really, really great. The riser on the stage, very, very dramatic, helped to add to the experience. Ended up being that Anthony Joshua, he did make weight, which I think he was supposed to come in under 245, I believe it was, but it ended up being like a 30-pound weight difference between him and Jake Paul. Now, this fight, unlike some of the others, I felt this had more of a kind of a wrestling kind of vibe, because that's the energy that you were getting from Jake Paul, that he really wasn't taking this serious. I originally really wasn't taking this serious. You know, I had some misgivings about the fight. But all in all, I think it still ended up being an enjoyable event. I never paid him any attention before this fight. You know, seeing him standing up against Anthony Joshua and trash talking and all this kind of stuff, I really just wanted Anthony Joshua to beat him up. I don't have anything against the man personally, but I felt that his presentation, I thought it was disrespectful to the sport. Anthony Joshua's my fighter. Jake Paul, I don't hate the guy, but like, he's kind of annoying.
It appears as though the pleasantries have gone out the window. There has been a lot of respect between you two over the past month or so, but right there it seems a little different. What did you make of that scene, and especially everything that he was doing with his fist?
Okay, it's all good. As long as the crowd enjoyed it, that's the main thing. Outclassed this bitch. I'm a serious fighter. That's just a difference. I'm a serious fighter. You're gonna get fucked up.
Can I ask, what were you saying to...
He top heavy! Look at them legs! Chicken legs!
What were you saying to him up there?
Man, I said I smell fear. I see something in his eyes. I truly do.
Finally, what is your prediction, Jay?
Probably the 6th or 7th round knockout.
This man right here is the man that started Jake's pro career. He helped Jake on his pro debut. He's brought me in to end Jake's boxing.
I stuck around briefly because I saw Layla Ali, and I also wanted to see what the media people were doing. From there, I decided that I was going to go for a drive because this was going to be like my last available night in the city. So I decided to go up Miami Beach to the Fontainebleau just because I wanted to see what it looked like. I like architecture, and so I wanted to drive around and see the city at night. I drove down like the coast of the Indian Creek, see like the yachts and whatnot, and just enjoyed listening to some music while driving through the city, seeing it lit up at night, and then finally made my way down to Ocean Drive. I was going to stop to get something to eat because it's not that far from the hotel, but decided to park the car and then continue on foot, just walking by some of the sidewalk seating and whatnot, looking at cool cars. Miami's known for it. Walked around, saw some pretty cool places, and then finally settled on a Mexican place that I found through Google.
Nice and flavorful. It actually tastes a bit like dal. Rich and creamy. greasy. You wouldn't think it, but the rice and beans, simple, but really, really good. The beans kind of remind me a little bit of the flavor of dal. Nice and rich. The tacos, flavor just right. Just the right amount of seasoning. Nice texture. I think it was a great recommendation to go with the corn tortilla. I thought it was going to be like your regular store brand corn tortilla where like it just crumbles and falls apart, but this is actually really nice and crisp. Different texture than what I'm used to, but good. Meat nice and tender. Get a little bit of sharpness from the onion. Rich. There's just a little bit of cheese on the bottom, but different from what I'm used to, but good. So I had a bite of it without the consomme, without the sauce. I'll try it with it. I don't think I got quite enough. Good. Really good. Really good. Good. Just very greasy. The service is good. The food came out just minutes after I ordered. Not a complaint. Not a bad bite on the plate. I had a bit of a headache before. And I think it's from being hungry. Because I've eaten a little bit. It's pretty much gone away. Feeling good. It's a nice little vibe. Sitting outside. Now, I don't know how bearable this would be during the summer or during the day. It's like you got like a nice little breeze coming off the water. So like the beach is just right across the street. It's like you got a nice little breeze blowing. I'm glad I brought my jacket. And then aside from that, got like some Spanish music playing. I don't understand what they're saying, but it sounds good. You know, it's a nice little vibe. Like I said, I had some misgivings about coming to Miami, but so far it's been a good experience. You know, I've had like some pretty good meals. It's been nice to get away and to step out of your comfort zone, try something a little bit different. And it's like when you think of Miami, yeah, you think about clubs and the beach and whatnot. Neither one of which is really for me. Like I just learned how to swim, so it's like I'm not comfortable swimming in the ocean. I'm not there as yet. But it's a nice experience, you know, to come out. There's like other facets to Miami. I felt like I wouldn't have enough to do during the time that I was here. And even after deciding not to go to the Everglades, I found more than enough stuff to do just driving around the city, seeing the city. So it's definitely a nice experience.
After dinner, I listened to some music, and had a nice leisurely stroll down Ocean Drive on my way back to the hotel, which was just less than a 10-minute walk away. So it really worked out very well as far as location wise. Capped off the end of a great day. Thanks for tuning in. To ensure you don't miss any episodes, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, go ahead and click that thumbs up button if you like what you saw, and go ahead and share it on social media.